Hello, and welcome from the World Economic Forum here in Geneva, Switzerland. This is the official launch of the 2021 Circulars Accelerator, which is an initiative of Accenture, Ecolab, Anglo American, and Schneider Electric in collaboration with us at the Forum and UpLink, our digital innovation platform. In the next hour, we'll hear from and hopefully be inspired by circular leaders and innovators from around the world. That's the goal. My name is Antonia Gavel. I head the Forum Circular Economy Initiative, and it's my pleasure to host you here for the next hour. So I'm excited about this award for a couple reasons. For me, we've been working on pushing the circular economy agenda for the past decade with many partners, many of you here with us today, to make the economic case for the circular economy, to drive policymakers to create incentives, to push business leaders to set bold commitments, and to sort of support and drive innovation, right? We still have a long way to go. We know that, to go from linear to circular. But for me, the innovations that we're going to see today really give a signal that technology disruption is starting to open up the markets and enable the circular economy movement to accelerate. So for me, this is a huge moment. Peter has been with us on this journey since the very beginning. As a young global leader, he was behind the original launch of the Circular Awards, which came before this accelerator. So to get us started, Peter Lacey, Chief Responsibility Officer and Global Sustainability Service Lead at Accenture, I want you to tell us more about why we need the circular economy and also how specifically this accelerator is going to help. Peter, over to you.
Antonia, thank you so much. I couldn't be more excited to be here with all of the partners and all of the entrepreneurs today. And a big thank you to WEF for really helping to empower that journey and to fuel that journey over the last decade, where I've definitely shifted from being a young global leader to an old haggard leader, but still trying to do his best to drive the circular economy. Now, why is it so important? Because circular economy helps us to tackle the economic challenges and the sustainability challenges of sustainability in an integrated way. In an integrated way that allows us to decouple what we want from the economy and markets working well from what we don't want, which is the use of harmful or scarce natural resources. And what the Circulars, and now the Circulars Accelerator, does is to focus on the disruptive, innovative business models and the use of new technologies, physical technologies, biological technologies, digital technologies that are going to take us to a new era in what is the decade to deliver. So I am super excited. I believe we heard last week at Digital Davos, the twin engines of recovery for the global economy are going to be sustainability and digital technologies. And we're going to see so much of that represented here today. And that ability to connect innovators with those who have the scale and the speed to make a difference is just so exciting. So back to you, Antonia.
Great. So now we're actually going to hand it over to Jan. Jan Gilb, who is with SAP, to say a few words about your engagement in the accelerator as well. Jan, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Antonia, and also thanks to Peter, and welcome from my side to the Circulars Accelerator launch. For me, actually talking about sustainability is really talking about survival. And I believe the big difference in 2021 will be that more companies will rely on their ERP systems to help them actually make sustainable decisions. So to help the World Forum, the world run better and improve people's lives is actually our purpose as a company. And sustainability is core to our vision here at SAP. Our partnership with the United Nations Global Compact and Accenture on SDG ambition is actually an important component of our sustainability efforts. And I believe we need to set more ambitious targets even and advance the integration of the SDGs into core business systems. So we are super excited to continue here this partnership with Accenture going forward. It will include a greater focus on circular economy in action, actually. And Peter has pointed out the need for the circular economy from an environmental and financial perspective. And I would like to briefly emphasize the importance of technology also and specifically technological innovation in enabling and accelerating the agenda. Think about things like blockchain to enable traceability tools, or energy and carbon reporting tools, LCA tools that enable companies really to comply with the increasing regulatory pressures. And we also see other technologies inspirationally actually being deployed by members of the Circulars Accelerator cohort in 2021. And I look really forward to supporting this accelerator to drive real scale and impact. Because our collective definition for sustainability needs to expand, our teams at SAP IO Foundries here in Berlin and Munich, they're teaming up with Accenture on a sustainability-focused startup program, because we really want to work with the best minds and create solutions to support businesses with their decarbonization strategies and help implement circular economy principles along their supply chains. We have already received 190 plus applications here from 35 countries, and we have shortlisted it down now to 45. And as the next step, we gather feedback from Accenture topic leads here on complementarity and strategic fit. So thank you again for having me, for keeping us on our feet, for reframing our focus. And thanks so much for your time. And with that, I would like to hand it back over to Antonio.
Great. Thanks, Peter and Jan, for your insights. I mean, the fourth industrial revolution, the coming together of innovation to solve these global challenges, really all connected to what we're driving at the forum and also through our UpLink platform. So these connections are really important for us. So now I think is really the moment we've all been waiting for, the launch of our cohort of Circular Accelerator innovators over the next year. So just to kind of give a bit of context, this is the first year of the Circular Accelerator, and it received over 200 high-quality applications from over 50 countries around the world, and really from many industries, I think signaling the sort of breadth and depth of activity happening around the circular economy. So all of these applications and all the innovators then got taken through, I would say, a pretty rigorous multi-stage evaluation process, got grilled by, I think, a panel of experts to really understand both what was underneath and how their innovations worked, which basically landed us here today. So coming out of that, we have 17 amazing circular trailblazers, and we talk about trailblazers because they're really creating new markets and new solutions that others haven't really pushed forward to date. So let's learn more about these innovators through a short video to introduce you to each of them. amazing, really, to see those innovations. I can say as one of the judges, those are just 17 of what was a massive cohort of incredible innovations coming our review, basically coming our way for review. So it's really great to have that group here. I think for me, at least, it really emphasizes every single one of those examples leverage technology, right? And are coming up with solutions to some of the hardest circular economy challenges that we're facing in packaging, in electronics, in food, in construction. We need to work in all of these sectors, really, to kind of make this shift happen. And we really are excited to see these solutions coming to the fore here. So let me now turn to Christoph Beck, President and CEO of Ecolab, also a long-time collaborator on the Circulars before this accelerator as well. So Christoph, it's great to have you with us. Christoph, tell us a little bit about your role in the accelerator, and then we're looking forward to an interview between you and one of the accelerator CEOs, Peter Rao from Deep Branch. So Christoph, over to you.
Hey, great. Thank you so much, Antonia, and such a pleasure to be with all of you, all those entrepreneurs today. It's really a special moment after almost 10 years that we've been working together on circularity with the forum, with Accenture, and with all the companies that have been founders of that amazing venture. As you said, so I'm Christoph Beck from Ecolab, company that's been in the sustainability business for 97 years. I guess back then in 1923, it was not there. The term didn't even exist. But today, we're the global leader in water, in hygiene, in infection prevention, which is pretty handy, obviously, with what's happening with COVID right now. And with a team of 45,000 people in 172 countries, we have 3 million customers around the world protect people and the resources that are vital to life. For instance, we help manage a third of the world food production. And last year, we've helped our customers save enough water for the drinking needs of 700 million people on our path to 1 billion. And the cool thing is that they did all this by reducing their total operating costs. So in other words, circularity makes business sense, but I know I don't need to convince anyone on that call that it's the case. But here's the real problem. The world produces 1 billion tons, 51 billion tons of CO2 every single year. And we know it doesn't go away, it stays here. And we're heading for an increase of temperature of 3 to 5 degrees in the current century, which is against what we all hope to remain within 1 to 2, which is an issue. And during COVID, emissions went down 8%. So let's think about reducing that by 100%, which is the ambition that we have by 2050. So that's why we need more creative solutions. We need great entrepreneurs, and we need solutions like Deep Branch, which I was really impressed with, which is a solution, as you will hear, ultimately, that captures the CO2 from manufacturing processes and that transitions it ultimately so to produce animal feed. Quite a great innovation. So I've had a chance to talk to Pete, and I wish and hope that you will enjoy that discussion as much as I did. So back to you.
So Pete, you have a great story with a really fascinating business model. So can you share a little bit more with us the Deep Branch story and what your organization does?
Sure. Yeah. So at Deep Branch, what we do is we create sustainable and cost competitive protein. We use this protein as an alternative to things like soy protein that are used as the primary protein source for animal diets. And what's really interesting about the way we do this is we actually use carbon dioxide as an input for our process. So we recycle that CO2 and we use it to make a more sustainable alternative to the incumbent proteins that are used for animal diets.
And if you think about it, so climate change will put pressure on the food supply. At the same time, we will have 1 billion more people by 2030 that are going to join us, which is a great news, obviously. But what role will Deep Branch play in solving the global food crisis that we're experiencing at the same time?
So, I think we view this in quite a pragmatic way, which is if you look at the food requirements that we have in this 2050 timeframe that you referenced, there's going to be a lot of pressure on producing not just enough food, but producing that food in a sustainable manner. Of course, what we do recognize is one of the best ways to improve this is to reduce the meat consumption on an individual basis, right? But unfortunately, it doesn't map out that way, right? You see that the growth of the middle class usually means that people are eating more meat. So not just are there going to be more people by 2050, per capita meat consumption is also going to increase. So how do we meet that demand in a sustainable way? And that's kind of where we come in. So we say that instead of using arable land to grow crops that are then fed to animals, why not instead use that land to feed humans and create something that's equally or more nutritious using something like CO2 that's usually just viewed as a waste stream?
Now, we're in a very special decade with technology playing a very special role, global trade evolving as well. How do you see circular innovation to contribute to solving the global challenges and helping us transition to a new normal? And what more can we do to innovate for a more sustainable, equitable future as well?
Yeah, well, I think there are multiple things that fold into that question. So I think the first thing would be a circular economy usually has very local aspects to it, right? And it's about understanding within those local environments how you can be the most resource efficient, how you can save on things like carbon emissions, water usage, land intensity. And what we see as a company is that we do have a very powerful technological solution, but we are a small company, and in order for it to have an impact, we need to be able to partner on both ends of our value chain. So I really think this kind of little big partnership will play a big role when we're talking about the impact of sustainable and circular solutions. So if you think about what we do at Deep Branch, in the UK, we work with Drax Power Group. Drax are the UK's biggest producer of renewable electricity. And we use the CO2, the biogenic CO2 that comes from their process to actually make the protein that we then provide to animal feed producers. And we said very early on with the company that we didn't want to get into the business of producing animal feed ourselves, right? That's a very precise science. Animal nutrition, as you probably well know, is something that we want to leave to the experts and stick to what we're good at, which is making the protein. And therefore, we also partner on that side of our business with companies like Biomar, who are one of the world's leading sustainable aquafeed companies. And we do a lot of work with them up in Scotland to work on more sustainable, locally produced salmon feeds. So, I mean, using that as an example, what you usually see with aquaculture, with farmed fish, is that you're relying on protein sources that are shipped from South America. So this is either fish meal, which is anchovies caught off the coast of Peru and Chile, or things like soy protein concentrates, which are grown in Argentina or Brazil. They're concentrated up and then they're shipped over. So a big amount of carbon intensity, but also, if they're produced in the wrong way, a big ecological impact as well, right? So we're saying, why not keep that local? Why not say short value chains within the UK, produce that protein that we need, provide some more food security, and more importantly, provide a big impact on climate change.
Now you're part of this accelerator program. What are you most excited about when you think about what's ahead, and what do you expect from that program that could help propel your business to new heights?
Yeah, I mean, there are multiple levels of value that we see in the circulars, right? So I think, first of all, there's a really interesting cohort of companies. So it's always interesting to learn from your peers, right? And to get an understanding about how they're navigating this space. I think, today we've already talked a bit about the impact of COVID and climate change and all these kind of things. And, people are taking very different approaches to this, and learning best practices from fellow entrepreneurs is great. But also, a level above that is we're saying, okay, well, how do we engage with more established corporates and larger organizations like yourselves at Ecolab, like the World Economic Forum and Accenture, and say, taking a more strategic view of the world, how does our specific solution that we've built fit into the global picture? Where can we have the biggest amount of impact? And really having the chance to take the time to convey the value that we bring as a company, and then work with well-connected individuals, smart people, to be able to say, hey, there's this guy in my Rolodex that you should really speak to, or, we should use the channels of the World Economic Forum to push what you're really about to a broader audience. And, all these kind of things I think is really super exciting.
This is really cool. I look forward to partnering with you and supporting you on that journey. It's going to be fun.
Definitely.
Great, another wonderful example. Congratulations, Pete, and also a huge thanks, Christoph, there as well. For me, yeah, these are the types of examples that I find really exciting, using a kind of CO2-based waste process into solving another challenge, animal-based feed as well for the food that we're eating. So these twin circular solutions, I think, is what does really get me inspired by hearing these kinds of examples. So big congratulations to joining us here as well. So now we have the opportunity to hear from another circular economy leader and also innovator. So let me turn the floor over to Frøydis Cameron Johansen, who heads up international and government relations at Anglo American. Frøydis, talk to us about your role as part of the accelerator, and then we'll also hear similarly an interview between you and Will Barker, the CEO and founder of Mint Innovation, another one of our cohort of accelerator leaders here. So Frøydis, over to you.
Thanks so much. Look, we're a 100-year-old mining company. Doesn't feel much sort of innovative and circular about that, but what we've come to really discover is that there is so much that's happening in our company that it might not be labeled the circular economy, but there are absolutely these great ideas and innovations and practices that have been going on for a long time, which really fit into the circular principles. And so we are just thrilled to be part and partnering here with the Circulars Accelerator this year. I won't make Peter's head too big by saying we've admired the circulars from afar for a number of years, but we really have, because the innovation, the creativity that this program fosters is just fantastic. And we, like I say, we're just really thrilled to be a part of it now. And really, just like we were talking about before, is how we can support these entrepreneurs and these businesses to really tackle some of the really big problems that we're facing as a society. And so we're really looking forward to being able to have people utilize our expertise around circular innovation. We're a large multinational. How can we support them to really break down those barriers to scale, which are often the biggest sort of sticking points for innovation to really make that big impact, as the last speaker was saying. So without further ado, I hope you will find the short interview that I did with Will Barker. He's CEO and co-founder of Mint Innovation. They are doing some amazing stuff in how they are really looking to really approach a kind of low cost and scalable process on recovering the valuable metals in a lot of the different waste streams. And we just think it's really fantastic what they're doing. They're from New Zealand, and I know New Zealand has a great heritage and pedigree of innovation and circular awards. So I hope you enjoy it and you learn as much from all these innovators and these creative thinkers as we have done in just this short space of time of being with them. So thanks so much. Hi, Will. Huge congratulations on being selected for the Circular Accelerators. Must be really exciting for you and Mint Innovation. I know when I was on the judging panel going through all of the submissions, I really thought the Mint Innovation was so interesting and really tackling such a huge problem that we've all got in the world today. So to kick things off, can you share with us a bit more about Mint Innovation and the work to date?
Sure, yeah. Look, Roy, this is an absolute pleasure to meet you too. Yeah, our story is it starts with another New Zealand company actually. I was previously with a company called Landsec, a clean tech company, not a clean tech company that's kind of heavily rooted in the circular space. And they were taking steel mill waste gas and converting it through to interesting fuels and chemicals. Kind of a stereotypical venture-backed journey, started test tubes all the way up to commercial scale. Now they're very, very successful overseas. They grew up in New Zealand. I was a very, very early employee there, and I took the opportunity to step out of Landsec about 4 or 5 years ago and started looking for new kind of circular solutions, taking an important waste stream that we identified and making other valuable products. In our case, we take electronic waste, we take printed circuit board waste, which is vast swathes all over the place. Obviously, most of the tech that people carry around with them, the multiple tech devices people carry around with them, is ultimately going to be heading to the trash heap one day. And we're able to take all of that waste and recover the valuable metals and return them back into the economy. So we've been going about 5 years now. Again, a kind of stereotypical venture-backed trajectory. Start small, a seed round back in 2016, and now we've just closed the Series B round, raised $20 million, and that's essentially to enable us to build commercial plants. And that's where we're at today. We're kind of ready to conquer the world.
Oh, that's amazing, because I've been sort of following the e-waste sort of issue, and I know there's statistics out there, like the UN has said, there's over $10 billion worth of precious metals are basically disposed of through e-waste annually. I mean, that's just the precious metals, and then you've got all the other metals, the plastics and everything. I mean, there's a huge numbers. How does Mint Innovation then contribute to solving, which is effectively a really modern but a huge global issue?
Yeah, the big challenge today is that obviously we're all carrying around future e-waste, and the smaller devices get, and the more ubiquitous all these devices get, the bigger the problem. They're all ending up in local trash, and there's no local solution for recovery value. So the vast majority of electronic waste at the moment ends up just going straight to landfill. Well, in the worst case, is straight to landfill. There's increasing volumes now being shipped off to legitimate places like smelters where they are able to recover some of the value. But there's also unknown quantities being illegally exported to developing nations, where it creates no end of it creates a humanitarian and environmental catastrophe. And the kind of the point of Mint, the whole point of Mint is these very, very low cost distributed plants that are entirely scalable. So you can scale them to a particular jurisdiction, a particular city. So you know the size of the waste problem they've got in a city, and you're able to build a low cost plant that's able to very, very effectively recover the waste at the point of collection. So you're able to mine the urban mine. And the great thing about being able to do it in a distributed model, you've got both you've got the supply chain, you've got the waste stream, and you've got your buyers who are ready to take the metals off. So it is an entirely circular solution for the modern world, if you like.
Congratulations again on being selected. So what is the most, for you, what are you most excited about, and what do you hope to achieve by being part of this program?
Yeah, look, we are, as you say, we're very, very excited to be part of the program. New Zealand is an unbelievably, it's a great country. You can probably tell by my accent, I'm an import into New Zealand, and it has many, many benefits. The challenge with New Zealand is we're touched down in the kind of a corner of the globe, and so our next step, if you like, is to reach out to every country, every city that has this waste problem, and start addressing those waste problems. Doing that from New Zealand, particularly behind closed borders, is pretty challenging. So having a close alignment with others, with your strong networks, is absolutely vital for us for this next kind of commercial stage. And similarly, being part of that community, we've got a lot of experience of our own, and we're excited about giving back as well. So all in all, we can't wait to become more involved in the program.
Great, thanks for that.
No problem, it's an absolute pleasure.
Another great example. Just maybe to kind of belabor the point a little bit, I think we know that during COVID-19, we've depended on these electronic technologies to keep us connected. They're incredible, but they're also the largest growing segment of waste globally. And as we heard, this waste is not only really difficult to dispose of, it's incredibly toxic if disposed of in the wrong way. And it's also really hard to move. It's hard to ship e-waste across borders, which is work that we've been doing with a lot of our global partners who have targets in this space. It's really difficult. And so what Will has developed, I think, as a distributed and localized solution can be really revolutionary. So a huge congratulations from us here in trying to kind of drive this agenda more visibly at the forum as well. So now on to our next innovator and leader here as well. We have Olivier Blum, who's the Chief Strategy and Sustainability Officer from Schneider Electric with us. Olivier, welcome. Tell us a little bit about your involvement in the circulars, and then we're, I think, really excited to see a day in the life of an innovator with Brian Bauer, who's the Circular Economy and Alliance Lead from Algramo. Olivier?
Thank you for inviting me. Well, look, you know, at Schneider Electric, sustainability has been part of our DNA for probably the past 15, 20 years. Very recently, by the way, a couple of weeks ago, we've been elected by Corporate Knight as one of the most sustainable companies in the world, actually the #1. So I think it's a great recognition from all our commitment over the past. And you know what? Circularity is really a key pillar, a key foundation now in our strategy. And I think on one side, we see it really as something essential in the way we lead our own operation, because we believe it touches everything we do, the way we design, manufacture, and distribute our product. But even more, I would say, for me, this is really the next frontier in the sense our customers are asking for something different. They are asking for different type of product, different type of services. And we really believe that really circularity is the next frontier on the business side for many, many companies. And as it has been said previously, digital and technology is a unique opportunity to accelerate a topic for which we've been talking probably for past 5, 10 years, but now we have many, many solutions which are made available thanks to digital and technology. So we are really thrilled at Schneider to be part of the Circular Accelerator. We have been for long in this ecosystem, and we are really very pleased to be awarded as a multinational in the multinational category in 2019. But now I think we are even more excited to enter in the next step, moving from the Circular Awards to transition to the Accelerator format, because we strongly believe in ecosystem. We don't believe in circularity there is big and small. I think it's an ecosystem of people, of companies who are going to work together to bring the solution for the next decade. And we are really super excited to support all those innovators and help them to overcome their barriers with all the means that we have sometimes, you know, in our large company. So on that, I'm super excited really to introduce the next segment, which will tell you more about the story of a day in the life of our trailblazing cohort, Algramo, which is featuring Brian Bauer, Circular Economy and Alliance Lead.
Hello, so we're in one of Algramo's electric tricycles. This one's getting maintenance, so it's not out on the road today. And they're 100% electric, and they drive all around Santiago. We've got 8 of these with Unilever. We've got Quicks dish soap here. It's a biodegradable formula. And on the other side, we've got Omo laundry detergent. Omo is a very popular liquid laundry detergent by Unilever. And this is a co-branded Unilever Algramo bottle that can be refilled over and over again, and it's got packaging as a wallet technology, which changes this packaging into a digital wallet so that people value it and think of it differently, so it stays in the economy and out of the environment. And we're going to go into the warehouse or the bodega where we store the containers that dispense the various types of products. So we're going into the warehouse here. Here's some of the staff putting on labels on the Quicks laundry detergent bottles.
Hi.
What is your name?
Hi, I'm Cristobal. I'm just putting the RFID chips in the labels for this Quicks packaging.
Now I'm entering the Algramo office, and one of the first things you'll see when we enter the office is our community garden. And our community garden is really important for us because we have lunches every day. And we get a lot of our food very locally from our little garden here. We've got a compost, so a lot of the food that we eat, the organics come back to the garden, and the garden's doing really well. Lots of some Chilean chili peppers, some tomatoes, broccoli, beans, corn, tons of different food. Here in the warehouse in the corner is one of our first dispensers we developed for Unilever. It's a prototype that's no longer working, but we had a lot of learnings from it. And now we're going to go on and look at some other parts of the operations. Hello, Oscar and Danielle. It's great to see you guys again and to explore the opportunities between El Gramo and Colgate-Palmolive. So how's it going, Oscar? Where are you today?
Hi, Brian. Thank you very much. I'm in Guatemala at this moment. I'm really excited about the news coming about our pilot with El Gramo in New York.
And what about you, Daniela?
Hi, good morning. So right now I'm in Kansas, so at our lab working on a different project, but it's really nice for me to meet with you, to contact, and as Oscar was saying, keep working with you on the different projects that we have in the pipeline and see where we go from there.
And now we're approaching El Gramo's technology laboratory.
Hello.
Hey, Felipe, how's it going?
I'm Felipe Cordero, electronic engineer. This is the tech lab, and here we assemble our machines. Here we have a flex unit, the dispenser with two different products. This is an El Gramo new model, and here we can see the standing unit with two capabilities for Oma and Quicks.
And right here we have the very first vending machine in El Gramo's history. It was designed for powdered laundry detergent and was this kind of inception of El Gramo about 7.5 years ago. And over here, we've got a new dispenser, a new type of dispenser we developed, customized for the Indonesian market. We've got a bunch of these currently just being unloaded and assembled in Jakarta, and they're soon going to be piloted in Jakarta, enable people to buy small amounts of laundry detergent for the best price without packaging waste.
Hi, I'm Kevin Jimenez. I'm 36 years old. I'm an accountant of this amazing company, and I'm very proud of being a part of it.
Now we're coming into the main office. Here we have Gabriella. Hi, Gabriella. How are you?
Hola, Brian. Hola, Brian.
So what are you doing today, Gabby?
I'm doing some planning about the HR with Marlene.
Oh,
here
cool.
with me. And also I'm working in the last details about all the budgets of 2021.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'll let you get back to work. Thank you for that, Gabby. Have a good day.
Brian.
Bye-bye. And over here we've got Cristobal. Cristobal, what are you working on?
I'm working on the promotional codes for our customers.
Oh, excellent.
So they can have like promotions and discounts.
Hey, can you explain, Cristobal, what this screen here is?
This is our impact screen. Here we can know how much plastic we have avoided with our refills.
Oh, cool.
How much packagings, how much CO2, water, and plastic waste.
And is that in real time?
In real time.
Wow. Oh, it just changed.
Yes.
Cool. Thanks a lot. We're really excited about this packaging. This is packaging we've co-developed with Nestle. And what's special about this is it replaces those dog food bags, which are not recyclable and generally can just be landfilled. So this enables the customer to put their dog food in here, store it easily. It's got wheels, they can move it around easily. And we have electric tricycles from Nestle that bring the dog food to your house. You bring your container out and you fill it up.
Great. Thank you, Brian, for that wonderful tour. Your impact board, I think, inspires us a lot. 1.4 million plastic bags averted. It's really incredible to see that direct impact on the environment as well. And I think many of us would love one of your dog food containers for those of us who have pets at home. It's a great, I think, service-based solution that many people crave. So with that, we're really excited actually to have live with us today a couple of our innovators as well here. And so we'll take a few moments now to have a bit of a panel discussion with them. In a way, the theme that we've seen running through everything here is technology innovation and how technology is enabling so many of these solutions. So let's just dig a little bit into that. So let me just quickly introduce our innovators. We have Natasha Frank, the CEO and founder of E.ON, Jahil Oliver, the CEO of Hello Tractor, and Ashish Gadnis, the CEO and co-founder of Banku. Welcome to all of you here. So let us just do a quick round of introductions to get us started. So I'm just going to ask each of you to take 30 seconds, introduce yourself, where are you joining us from, and a quick pitch, what do you do within your business? So let me just start with Natasha. Natasha, we can't hear you. If you just pause for 1 minute while we fix that. Let me just jump over to Jahil and we'll come back to you, Natasha.
Thank you, Antonia, and I hope you all can hear me. My name is Jahil Oliver. I'm the founder and CEO of Hello Tractor. We're an agricultural technology company that connects equipment owners with farmers, mostly smallholder farmers in need of services. I'm joining you all from Nairobi, Kenya, but we're operational in 13 countries in Africa and 3 countries in Asia.
Great, thanks, Jahil. Ashish, over to you.
Hi, good morning. I'm Ashish. I'm the co-founder CEO of Banku. We're a software as a service company. We're a for-profit, for-purpose company that focuses on making supply chains sustainable, traceable, transparent, and most importantly, equitable, because there's a lot of poor people in the world who work in the circular economy. I'm calling in from Austin, but we're operational in over 40 countries and 600,000 people on our platform. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Ashish. Let's try you again, Natasha.
Hi.
Get you back. There you go.
Hey. I'm Natasha. I'm founder and CEO of E.ON. We power connected products and circular commerce for brands and retailers, enabling them to operationalize and scale circular models and build industry-wide systems for global recycling, sorting, and resale. Thank you.
And where are you joining?
I'm here in New York.
Great.
I'm here in New York. Thank you.
Great. Welcome, Natasha. Super. All right. So maybe let's just dig into a couple dimensions here. So Jahil, let's start with you. So Hello Tractor, it's a digital platform, a service-based platform to connect people with tractors, as its name describes, working in Nigeria and Kenya and other emerging markets. So can you maybe just tell us a little bit about how these digital platforms are working to connect these services, but also providing social value at the same time?
Absolutely. Well, at the center of our circularity is this idea of transparency, and we accomplish transparency through our digital products. We use digital to connect equipment owners to their machinery so they can better manage the equipment, minimize fraud, manage their fuel, maintenance, to increase the longevity of their tractors and combines. But then we also use digital products to connect farmers who are booking for services with these equipment owners. And we accomplish all this through IoT technology, mobile and web applications. And those digital products are allowing our machine owners to earn more income, minimize fraud, while enabling our farmers to plant 40 times faster and at 1/3 the cost of manual labor, while producing more harvests for their supply chain partners. So digital is an undercurrent of everything that we do at Hello Tractor. It supports our circularity and the sustainability and scalability of the platform.
Great, thanks, Jahil. And maybe just a follow-up question is, from your perspective, what do you think you need to be able to scale further? What is really the opportunity? I mean, you work, as you said, across Africa. There's a huge opportunity across Africa in the circular economy, and we've been working with the AFDB and a number of governments across the region to help scale that potential as well. So maybe just talk to us a little bit about what it takes to scale.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, Hello Tractor became the largest marketplace of equipment owners servicing small farmers globally, and we accomplished that through partnership. That can be supply chain partners at the end of our value chain, like Diageo, who have farmers in need of tractor services to improve their yields, or Olam, or a variety of other actors who come to us for mechanization services that support their outgrowers within their farmer networks. But then at the other end of the value chain, we have tractor dealers and tractor owners who can only sell their equipment into markets that are organized, where contractors, professional contractors, can service the small farmers who dominate production in these countries, where it doesn't make sense for them to own their own equipment. Rather, they need timely, affordable access to equipment. And we unlock that value across that supply chain through partnerships. So small companies like Hello Tractor can leave a lasting, sustainable, and scalable impact.
Great. So yeah, partnerships, I think, is a word we use a lot here as well. So Natasha, maybe over to you. Fashion textiles is a huge challenge when it comes to the circular economy, massive volumes of waste, fast throughput. How is connected clothing changing that picture?
Yeah, so today, brands and retailers don't have really the infrastructure, the technology to enable either the operations, the incentives, or the systems change into circular business models. So they have a lot of technology that enables them to ID and manage products in the supply chain from production to point of sale. And then once those products are sold, they have no way to ID them, they have no way to manage them, and also they have no incentives to monetize them. Today, brands are solely incentivized and they can only generate more revenue by producing and selling more product, right? 2 shirts is more profitable than selling 1 shirt. With connected products, brands are able to be associated with the ongoing value, revenue, and material value of their products so that they are, 1, financially incentivized to produce better quality, longer lasting products. They can participate in the revenue from resale, from rental, and from recycling. And really, we provide them the digital infrastructure to operationalize and scale those models.
Great, that's really exciting. And maybe again, just coming back to this question of scale, which I'll keep coming back to, is what does that take for you? How do you scale those types of quite new, I would say, solutions and propositions to businesses, basically, and consumers as well?
So we have started with a global consortium of brands and retailers that we brought together to develop and codify something called the Circular ID Protocol, ensuring that every product can be identified with all of the material information that it needs to be recycled. So how do you ID this product, and how do you know what material it's made of? And how do you know that on a global scale when all of these products are together in aggregate? So we believe that sort of through this collaboration, through global systems, and through technology that enables the networks and the sharing of that information between brands, resellers, and recyclers, and technology that builds networks and communication between all of these stakeholders in the circular value chain, we can drive that transformational and systemic shift into a circular business model for industry.
Great, thanks. Yes, this business model transformation is so key, I think, in particular in some of the sectors that we're talking about here today. So maybe over to Ashish. You're using blockchain technology. Of course, we hear a lot about blockchain these days, but you're connecting people and value chains together. Can you tell us a little bit about how you're doing that and why it's really important for sectors like consumer goods and agriculture?
Yes, because, thank you. So one of the biggest problems in the circular economy is gender inequality and extreme poverty. So if you are a mother picking up bottles, plastic, cardboard on the streets of Colombia, you're completely invisible in that supply chain, even though that plastic bottle comes back into the brand. So how we use blockchain is to solve that, right? So if you talk to that mother today who uses Bankia on the streets of Bogota, every time she sells a bottle that makes its way back to Bavaria as a returnable, she, via a simple SMS message, gets this economic passport that not only identifies her existence in the supply chain, but builds history that now allows her to start breaking the cycle of poverty. So we're using blockchain in a non-crypto fashion in a way that she can prove her existence in the supply chain.
Yeah, it's such an incredibly important solution. And I've said this a number of times, and in particular right now, during the COVID crisis, what we've seen is that actually it's a lot of the people who are at the start of that supply chain who have not had the social safety nets in cases where they are being let go basically as a result of rapid slowdown in demand. So I think it's really an inspiration and an inspirational solution, but also really critical in moments like these. Maybe just the same kind of, let me throw the same follow-up question to you, Ashish, in terms of kind of scaling these types of opportunities more broadly.
I think the easiest way to say, how do we scale? It's really, I would love for brands to recognize the last mile and the first mile, right? If you're in the mining industry, in the beverage industry, there is a smallholder farmer at the end of the supply chain, and there might be child labor in your mines, right? And technologies like BenQ not only make those supply chain traceable and transparent, which you want for your sustainability goals, but it makes them equitable. So the mother can build this bankable history, so then children can be pulled out of child labor, right? And scale will come from brands recognizing the value of traceability, transparency, and equity in their supply chains.
Great, absolutely. Thanks, Ashish. So really for all of you, you talk about your solution, you're really hitting on some, I think, acute needs in terms of circular economy, but also social inclusion and inequality. And really part of the reason of being part of this accelerator is to help scale. So what are the partnerships that we need? What are the opportunities that can be opened through this type of initiative? So we're live today. You have a lot of leaders from business, from government, other stakeholders listening. So maybe just take that 1 minute and I'll just give you the floor to share kind of what you need and what your vision for scale is from the wider world that's listening to you today. So let me start with Natasha.
That list is long. I think there is, first of all, it's so wonderful to be in a cohort with other innovators, because I think through this we'll learn so much from each other. I think we're also very excited through the Accenture and SAP involvement to better integrate into the existing enterprise technology stack. I think so much of scaling disruptive technology involves understanding how the operations and the technology is used by brands and retailers, and then extending and integrating with those technology solutions to bring them into circular economy so that they can happen at scale. So that will be very eye-opening through this program.
Over to you. Jahil, do you want to jump in?
Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, the first thing I will request is better bandwidth in Kenya, because I'm struggling right now with this internet. But that aside, I think from our perspective, we recently launched an exciting partnership with MasterCard, where we're designed a pay-as-you-go tractor finance product, where we're offering private investors an opportunity to not only receive above market returns on an asset-backed investment, but also deliver outsized impact to smallholder communities. And so as we look to scale our platform, Africa has a huge mechanization gap, and a lot of that gap has to do with a lack of capital, lack of liquidity in the markets. And so we want to crowd in investors who are socially oriented, but won't compromise on return, and we don't think they should, to participate in mechanizing smallholder systems in a sustainable, scalable way while generating returns for themselves and their own portfolio. So we're really excited about that. We got some great partners behind us to support it, and we invite other private investors to join us on that journey.
Great, thanks, Jahil. Ashish, floor to
Thank you. My simple ask is, if you're the leader of an FMCG, right, take the time to find out, do you know that one mama farmer that grows your barley? Or do you know that one mama waste picker who's picking up your bottles? If the answer is no, the solution does exist in platforms like blockchain and BenQ. Over.
Excellent. All right, well, I think let's virtually all give these innovators a hand of applause. I think people who are watching, I think, are really celebrating your success and involvement. Thank you for the work that you do. It's hard work, but it's so important. So great to have you with us here today. So now I'd like to hand the floor over to somebody very special, Wesley Spindler, who has really, I think, been a mastermind behind this initiative, who is also the Sustainability and Strategy Director and Global Circular Economy Lead with Accenture. So Wesley, over to you to tell us a little bit about the Circulars UpLink community.
Thank you so much, Antonia, for that very generous introduction. The Circulars is certainly a program so near and dear to my heart, and it's been a genuine privilege to watch this community grow and connect around a real set of shared values for a circular future over the last 6-7 years. And I have to say, I'm more inspired than ever to see the program go from strength to strength as we now focus our efforts on supporting circular trailblazers in creating scale and impact. And now more than ever, we have this unique opportunity to redefine business as usual, recognizing we can deliver real, lasting value when we bring together circularity, innovation, and collaboration. So with that in mind, I'm very excited to announce the launch of a new digital space to engage with circularity, the Circulars community on UpLink. UpLink will provide a virtual home for the Circulars ecosystem where pioneers and innovators from around the globe can connect to share their ideas, to spread awareness, and to collaborate, as has been raised many times, being quite important. And in this moment of real planetary challenge that we find ourselves in, the time is now, the future is circular. So I invite you to join the Circulars community. Make sure you're following the journeys of our inspiring cohort and do play your part in accelerating the global circular transition. So thank you everyone for listening, and thank you also to the partners, all of our supporters, who there are many, and of course our innovators for joining in on this journey with us. Thanks, Antonia.
Thank you, Wes, and thanks for all the work that you and the team have done really to bring this together as well. So that brings us to a close. For me to say thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to all of the innovators who applied and who are participating in this accelerator. We'll continue to spotlight and share their success stories as they start their journey into this Circulars Accelerator over the year ahead. So I think just to say, remember to join UpLink. You heard about that platform and the community. Check them out. If you have solutions of your own, get engaged. I think that's the call to action. Get engaged and share your solutions and ideas. Thank you very much.